If you're serious about wanting to seek knowledge as a Muslim, then this video is definitely for you. It's going to be short, concise, and impactful, inshallah ta'ala. One of our scholars of Islam has written a few lines of poetry that are incredibly concise, and they give you 5 ingredients that are needed in order for you to seek knowledge. He says, وَالْعِلْمُ لَا يَنَالُ دُونَ تَعَبِ وطول صحبة وذل الطلب ودون الإنصات فالاستماع فالحفظ فالفهم مع اجتماع. The scholar has said that knowledge cannot be gained except with 5 ingredients. The first one is دون تعب, which is basically where you have to let go of comfort if you want to seek knowledge. Contrary to how people live nowadays, where they want the perfect temperature in the room, the perfect timing of the classes, the perfect teacher that they can resonate with, everyone just wants comfort if they're going to go out of their way and seek knowledge. But here straight away, knockout punch, the scholar is saying that you cannot gain knowledge except by giving up comfort. This is not an easy path to pursue. Increasing in knowledge and seeking knowledge, especially in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, requires a lot of sacrifice, persistence, and consistency. And so if you're going to pursue this path, know that you're going to have to let go of much of your comfort and make many sacrifices in order to traverse this path. The second ingredient is طول صحبة, where you stick to your teacher, your sheikh, for a very, very long time, as long as possible. If you guys just go to a sheikh and you sit with him for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, and you try and seek knowledge from him, you'll pick up 1 or 2 things here and there, but something that comes quick leaves quick too. If you really want to absorb the knowledge from your sheikh like a sponge and impact your character and your mannerisms and your way of thinking, you need to find a teacher and stick to your teacher for a very long time. I've seen this with myself, with my sheikh, and I've also seen it with my students who studied with me for a very long time. I've seen how their character has changed, their mannerisms have changed, how they answer questions, how they carry themselves in general with their knowledge. I have seen these changes myself as a teacher and as a student with my teacher too. Definitely encourage you to do the same. The third ingredient is ذُلِّ الطَّلَبِ, humility of the student. I cannot emphasize how incredibly important this is. We live in a time today which is strange. People have arrogance, which sometimes is very undetected. If you want to benefit from your teacher, such that any new knowledge that you've never heard actually goes into your mind and sticks there, or any knowledge that contradicts your thoughts, your previous ideas, that actually replaces the bad ideas that you had, and you become purified from that, you must have humility. The fourth ingredient is al-insati fal-istima'i, still limbs and an attentive ear. If you guys are sat there fiddling with your hands and you're looking left and right and your ears are focused on background noise that's happening in the room and your mind is wandering to random places, you're not going to gain any knowledge. You need to have still limbs where you're looking at your sheikh and you're focusing on what he's saying, so that the knowledge goes in, you comprehend it, and it helps you memorize it too. For me, in Muslim Lighthouse, I strongly encourage my students to switch their cameras on. Why? So that I know that they're focused and that they know they're focused as well. Typically, when you have Zoom meetings, what do people do? They switch their camera off and they go and make themselves a coffee and they have a side conversation with their parents, and it's a mess. So in order to combat that for my students, and it's been working well with the students who comply, is that I ask my students to switch their cameras on so that they can be extra focused as well. And finally, the fifth ingredient is al-hifz wal-fahm ma'a ijtima', that essentially you memorize and you understand collectively. It's almost like this scholar has basically painted a picture of a bird with 2 wings. The only way for a bird to fly is to flap both the wings. And in this context, from a metaphorical perspective, one wing is understanding and the other wing is memorization. If you understand but you don't memorize, you're going to forget and the knowledge is going to be useless. But if you memorize but you don't understand, then what use is your knowledge? You're not going to know what to say when people ask you questions. You're not going to comprehend what you've just memorized. It's just going to be like a parrot regurgitating information, but it doesn't know what it's saying, right? And so in order for you to benefit from the knowledge that you've gained, you must memorize it by revising it every now and again, such that eventually it sticks in your mind, but you must also comprehend it and understand it. And if you don't, then you ask your sheikh to clarify in order for you to reach that. So those are the 5 ingredients of knowledge. And alhamdulillah, me personally, under Muslim Lighthouse, I've seen many of these effects in my students over the times, over the years. And I definitely encourage you to sign up to Muslim Lighthouse if you don't have a teacher yourself, because I'm sure you'll benefit just as we've benefited, alhamdulillah, many students as time has progressed. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.